Merry Christmas, it's Santa again. Happy to be back. Happy to see that you're coming back to find out some more of the things that I'm trying to clear up for you all. For instance, my super stylish hat is not red today. Why? Because I don't always wear red. Just like I don't have a white beard. Yet. The red is great. I love the red. It's a misconception that I always wear red. I do like it, but I've got plenty of other colors I wear. Blue and green. Green's actually my favorite. That's why if you ever see anything traditional about Father Christmas, again, me, hi, I'm wearing green. Because green's one of my favorite colors. But I did wear red for a while. I actually wore it for quite a while, which is kind of where the whole thing took off, I think. Because my wife, Mrs. Claus, which Claus is actually saying Nicholas, so Mrs. Nicholas. Claus is not my last name, by the way. Santa means saint, but you know what? I'll get into that a different time. The Mrs. Claus, right? She made me a scarlet robe to wear to help keep me warm. The idea behind this actually comes from Proverbs 31, which was pretty funny to us at the time, because in Proverbs 31 it says there's this woman who's super precious, who can find her, she's more precious than rubies, and she clothes her family in scarlet so they're not afraid of the winter or the cold. It doesn't actually mean the color red when it says that. It's well off enough to get warm clothing for winter, because scarlet was a harder color to come by, and you had to have a little bit of money to be able to purchase or make something from scarlet thread. So that's where the idea of it came from, was a joke of being like, hey, we were well off enough that she made me a scarlet robe that was quite warm, and since we paid so much for it, it only made sense to get good use out of it, because most of our money was actually going to feeding the needy and stuff like that. But regardless of why you guys put me in that classic image of red when you put on your Coke commercials or your other little advertisements you have, which we gotta talk about some of those. They get pretty ridiculous. Like, really ridiculous. Anyway, the thing about the red that I love, actually, with the white trim, is it reminds me, every time I see it, of Christ and what he did for us, right? He bled and died on the cross, and so the red symbolizing the blood, and he made us pure as snow, right? The white that you see on the trim and stuff. So every time I'm wearing that, not that I wear it that often, certainly not your traditional look like you find in the malls and stuff, but every time I see it on those commercials or in the malls and see those people portraying me, oftentimes I'm getting praise for it, but that's not what I want you to think of, right? When you see Santa in the mall, when you see those people dressed up in that red with the white beards, which, again, not me, but I appreciate it at the same time, I want you to see Christ in what he's wearing, right? He puts on the red, he puts on the blood of Christ, and he's wearing that. And it's making him white as snow. It's purifying him, because that's what the blood of Christ does. It purifies us. So when you see Santa in red, think of Christ. Because as Saint Nicholas, follower of Christ, that's the message I want to share, is Christ. That's the joy I want to bring. It's why I'm a jolly man, as we discussed yesterday, right? I'm jolly because of the joy I have inside of me, which is a wonderful thing, and I want to share it with everybody. I want you to be as jolly as I am. And I say that knowing that they're asking me to do something again, and again, it's not what I do, but apparently you guys like it, so for you, because I do love you guys, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Ho 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 ho! I'll work on my laugh for you and try and make it something that you're more used to. Have a great night.